And okay, consider you've been around this business as long as you have. I mean, if somebody's actually going to come up to you and ask you any kind of questions like, what would you their basic opinion about this type of business? I mean, what kind of opinion would you give them if they actually wanted to go into this type of business? I mean, what kind of advice would you probably give them?
Well, I think I've taken a few detours.
Yeah.
I've had some help taking some of those detours, but I was also more eager to follow other people's advice sometimes because I was having too much of a good time. And I ended up with really quite a serious bout of alcoholism that caused a lot of grief, a lot of misery to me, to people I worked with, family, all of that. I've been sober for about a year now, and it's only really starting to come into perspective like how overexcited or how over upset I used to be able to get about stuff. I had a nasty streak of perfectionism, and fueled by the beer, I think, I could really work and work and work on something. If I didn't think it was quite right, I could work on something until it was terrible. You know, it's just sort of that destructive side of perfectionism. So I mean, if I had to give any advice, I'd say watch how many beers you have. You know, that would be the only advice I could sensibly offer, you know. Never give your publishing to your record company, always keep it separate. Never pay your manager expenses, because as soon as you agree to do that, the expenses are going to go through the roof. In fact, you'll be paying for tickets for other bands that he's hoping to sign. He goes away on aeroplanes to chat them up, you'll be paying for it.
You go away broke, basically.
Well, I mean, I don't know whether people... I don't think Mozart got into this game to become a millionaire, you know. I mean, it's funny because the music business is saints and sharks. I started writing songs to escape the pain of everyday life, really. It was just a way out for me, a way of expressing how I didn't think I fitted in. I never knew how I was going to make a living. Frankly, I've been amazed that I've managed to continue making a living singing the songs about how I don't fit in. So, but certainly there's going to... The more somebody's into their music, the more chances are there's going to be people around them who see that there's an opportunity to fleece them, delude them, even if they just say, oh, well, you know, he's not into this for the money, I'll have the money. But eventually, you are going to need the money. Even if you don't need it the first 10 years you're in a group. You might be on the road all that time, eating in hotels anyway, you know. But it definitely comes a time where you might start adding up, wow, look at all that money that's run through my fingers. In my case, run behind the bars of many great nations. So it's... but really the only time people took advantage of me was when I wasn't taking proper responsibility of myself. You know, if you're loaded drunk, expect someone to take you for a mug. You know, because they don't have any respect for you, and you're not sure why, because you're sober the next day, but they still remember that you were messed up. Even if you don't. No, I didn't sometimes.
It's a lot easier that way.
And the trouble is, you notice at gigs, I mean, there's always plenty to drink, so it's dead easy to slip into, you know.
You got nasty stuff.
Yes, we're on this Arizona iced tea now.
That's better for you anyway.
Yeah, it is. I feel better. I never thought I would be able to imagine myself without a drink. I come from a culture that we grow up drinking, you know, it's serious. But I don't miss it, and I sing better. More fun to be around. If something goes wrong, it's not necessarily a nightmare. So that's what I would say. I mean, drugs you've got to be careful with all over anyway, you know. But everybody knows the story without that.
Oh yeah,
In my case, I thought, what a good lad I was being, keeping away from the drugs. Yeah, I'll drink to that. And I drank to it often and hearty about how clean living I was, you know. So that would be about the only advice I give, because everybody's so different the way their music goes and stuff. To say, you know, once you don't enjoy yourself to the point where you ain't enjoying yourself anymore.
I'm going to ask you one last question. I'm going to let you get on with drinking your tea and stuff. But the one other question I wanted to ask you is, originally when you got into this business, back before English Beat, all that, I mean, what personally yourself wanted to make, why did you want to get into this type of business? I mean, play music, do all that.
Well, I don't know if I ever wanted to get into the business, to be honest. The beat was really a reaction to boredom, as much as anything else. And I just wanted an outlet for opinions and feelings that I had that seemed like I was going to get into trouble if I didn't find a forum for them. The stage was singing about it was a great. I love singing, and so it was a great spot for it. You know, I never really thought about it. We thought the beat would last for 2 weeks. You know, like, hey, yeah, let's do a couple of shows. It'd be fun. You know, it'd be funny. We never really took it serious. Even until the group split up, we never took it seriously. I think that was part of its charm. You know, but. I never really guessed I was going to be in the business part of it. I was always thrilled with pop singles. How could something in 3 minutes turn my nervous system to pins and needles, you know? All sorts of songs could do that, whether it was the Buzzcocks or Devo or Tuesday on the radio when I was 6, you know, certain songs that stand up in everybody's life as great moments, or you hear the song, you can smell what was going on that day 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and I'm really proud now. Loads of people say that about a few of the songs that we're playing tonight, you know, that they mean crystal moments, I call them. It means something very special to you at a particular point in your life, caught you at the right moment, and somehow a lyric might just sum up exactly how you feel, or the irony of how you feel, you know. So that was it for me, though. All the great artists that created those moments for me, that was intriguing, you know. God, wouldn't it be just great if you could put yourself with people and try and create those moments? Because we all feel them in our lives, it's just sometimes very difficult to record them. You know, whether you write a journal, write a book or whatever. For me, I like singing, so being in a group was the way I was going to try and make my mark or something. To keep out of jail, basically.
Well, Ben, it's supposed to have been around for 3 weeks. You guys did pretty good, though. So.
I know, it's bizarre, man. Bizarre.
Well, you know what, I want to thank you for letting me do this. And what if you could do me one last favor? That's something I wanted you to...
Oh, cool, yeah.
Look at the back of it, it's like in Spanish. Isn't that weird? Can you understand that? I thought it was kind of interesting. Did you guys know you released one? Did you know you released one in that language, or?
What?
Did you know you released one in that language at all? Or? No. I mean, what the music study? English, but
no, I don't even. Where is it from? This?
I think it's from Mexico. I'm positive.
Oh yeah, produced in Mexico for Aristotle. No, I didn't know. They never told me. Never gave me a clue. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Kind of weird looking at those old albums, or.
I'm used to it now. I mean, yeah, it is kind of, but
You kind of look at them and say, I used to look like that? Hell.
What am I thinking? Why did I pick that photograph? Out of all the photographs, why did that one seem to be the great one at the time?
It looks so serious on that picture.
Yes, well, I'm trying to be an IRA prisoner.
Yeah.
Behind the wire, the men behind the wire.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's H-Block prison, the political Irish political prisons in Northern Ireland, the H-Block prisons. So I was meant to be an Irish political prisoner, and Roger was meant to be a little gun belt there, so he was meant to be like African freedom fighter. He's a Springbok for South Africa.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that's right. So that's from H-Block to Springbok Ireland to South Africa, and then that's why they got the costumes.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense now. That makes sense now. That's interesting.
It's from the lyrics of that last song,